Islam, Salam, Hatep, Genealogo Ninani, Chief Noble Bandele El-Amin, with another video. This video will be called the Indigenous Chronicles, and this is part 1, dealing with North American glaciers, with assistance with Baba Elder Abdul Shakur Ahmad, giving his understanding on the ancient glaciers. I hope you enjoy this video.
Assalamu alaikum. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. I believe that there is one God only, and he has sent his messenger to all of mankind throughout all time. Today, we're going to share a little reading with you about when did the North American humans arrive. And the first thing we want to share is that water, being the source of all life, we know the history of glaciers. So I'm going to share here with you a little knowledge about the glaciers, and it says nature used 3 glaciers to shape the river's course: the Kansan, the Illinoisan, and the Wisconsinan. After each, the climate moderated as the ice melted. The Kansan Glacier blocked the drainage for what geologists call the Hamilton River, which flowed northward, being a tributary of the ancient Tees River, which once drained west central Ohio. When its drainage turned southward, the Hamilton River took on the name of Middletown River. The Illinoisan and the Wisconsin glaciers helped to reform the Middletown River into what are known today as the Little Miami River and the Great Miami Rivers. The last glacier connected the two, making them distinct rivers. The Great Lakes are the results of glacial scur and pooling of meltwater at the rim of the receding ice. When the enormous mass of the continental ice sheet retreated, the Great Lakes began gradually moving south due to isostatic rebound of the North Shore. Niagara Falls is also a product of the glaciation, as is the course of the Ohio River, which largely supplanted the prior Tees River. With the assistance of several very broad glacial lakes, it carved the gorge now known as the Upper Mississippi River, filling into the driftness area and probably releasing an annual ice dam burst. In its retreat, the Wisconsin episode glaciation left terminal moraines that form Long Island, Block Island, Cape Cod, Norman's Land, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Sable Island, and the Oak Ridge Moraine in south central Ontario, Canada. In Wisconsin itself, it left the Kettle Moraine, the Drum and Eskers formed at its melting edge are landmarks of the Connecticut River Valley.
This is a map of Ohio during the time of the glaciers. The green and blue areas determine the glaciers. The white is where there were none. And here is another map showing Ohio as glaciated and unglaciated. Notice that Ohio was not totally glaciated. This is a map of the Great Lakes that Baba Shakur discussed earlier in the video. As you can tell, you can see a changing of lakes from 14 to 7,000 years.
So just a little background. We heard that there were floods during the time of Noah. So where did all the water come from? From all over. And it froze. But these were the people who were there. We will get to that. The last glacial period, which was found, I Googled this from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, it says, Wisconsin Glacial episode was the most recent major advance of the North American Laurentide Ice Sheet. Globally, this advance is known as the last glacial period. The Wisconsin glaciation extended from approximately 110,000 to 10,000 years ago, between the Eemian interglacial and the current interglacial. The maximum ice extent occurred approximately 21,000 years ago during the last glacial maximum, also known as the late Wisconsin in North America. So we've seen that this glaciation, as it's called, took us from a long period of time ago. It said, what did it say here? It said 21,000 years ago during the last glacial maximum. The Wisconsin glaciation radically altered the geography of North America north of the Ohio River. At the height of the Wisconsin episode glaciation, the ice sheet covered most of Canada, the upper Midwest, and New England, as well as parts of Idaho, Montana, and Washington. On Kelly's Island in Lake Erie, or in New York Central Park, the grooves left by these glaciers can be easily observed. In southwestern Saskatchewan and southeastern Alberta, a suture zone between the Laurentide and Cordilleran ice sheets form the Cypress Hills, the northernmost point in North America that remains south of the continental ice sheets. At the height of glaciation, the Bering Land Bridge potentially permitted migration of mammals, including humans, to North America from Siberia.
And this is a picture of the Wisconsin glaciation showing around the Great Lake region, just something that the brother Ahmad had been discussing. And then we also see the picture of the United States with the glaciers surrounding the north part of America, but the Bering Land Bridge being blocked.
Prehistoric human migration was greatly influenced by the last glacial period, known in North America as the Wisconsin glaciation. In the late Wisconsin era, a land bridge across the Bering Strait allowed the first humans to reach North America from Asia. An alternative theory is migration along the coast sea settlements of the Americas. Human migration routes opened during interglacial periods in Europe and Asia as well. North America flora and fauna species were distributed quite differently during the Wisconsin era due to altered temperatures, surface water distribution, and in some cases coverage of Earth's surface by glaciers. A number of scientific studies have been conducted to determine species distribution, particularly during the late Wisconsin and early to mid-Holocene. An example of findings is from the investigation of floral species using pollen core samples in present-day northern Arizona. Here in Waterman Hills, researchers found that Juniperus osteosperma and Pinus monophylla were early in mid-Holocene dominant trees, while Monardella arizonica has been a continuously present understory plant. Celtus reticulata is an example of a plant present in the early Holocene following Wisconsin Glacial retreat, which species is no longer present at the Waterman Mountain site. So just some history, little background as to how mankind possibly got to North America.
And this is a map showing the migration of the Mongoloid, or the people coming from Asia across the Bering Strait into North America and spreading forward. This is what we have typically been taught. This is the first part of our series dealing with indigenous people, to give a background on the environment that is responsible for the culture and the land that was used by indigenous people. I hope you enjoyed this video.